What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. What I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be making some French onion soup, and we're going to be making it in our crock pot. Anyway, I'm going to have all the recipe, ingredients, all that stuff down in the description below. The first step I need to do is to caramelize our onions, so we're going to be doing this in the crock pot overnight. Now, the recipe that I'm going to have in the description is going to be a little bit different than what I'm actually going with. I am going to be going with more of a hearty soup, and I'm going to be doubling up the onions. The recipe I'm following has 3 onions. I'm using 6, and I have 3 sweet onions. And the reason I have the rest of these chopped up, but I want you guys to kind of see the difference. These regular yellow onions are going to be kind of round, and the sweet onions are going to be kind of a little bit more oblong. And the only reason I'm showing this to you is I go to a market that doesn't have these listed as what they are, so if you're in the same situation, that's kind of how you tell the difference. Anyway, to caramelize these onions, I'm just going to throw these onions in a crock pot with 1 stick of butter overnight. A lot of times if you're going to do this stovetop, you're going to add a little bit of brown sugar or something like that to help speed up the caramelization. Since this is going for at least 8 hours, we're not going to have to worry about that. Anyway, that's going to be my first step. I'm going to go ahead and throw my butter in and my onions. Turn on my slow cooker on low, and we're just going to let it go. We'll pick this up tomorrow and get into the rest of the ingredients then. Our onions have been caramelizing in that slow cooker all night. We'll get to those in a minute. And all these amounts and ingredients are going to be in the description. So anyway, our ingredients, we have 1 bay leaf, some flour, garlic, Worcestershire sauce. I have a thyme rosemary mixture, some Burgundy wine, some Parmesan cheese. Woo, and it hurt me to buy this Gruyere cheese. That was some expensive stuff. We got that, and then I have some beef base, and I have a French baguette. And I'm going to throw this French baguette in the oven at like 250 degrees for about 10-15 minutes before we actually plate this up, just to kind of get it a little bit firmer. Anyway, those are our ingredients. Let's start mixing everything together. So let's start whipping this up. So we have our caramelized onions in here. I must say they look pretty good. Let's go ahead and throw in some flour. We're going to stir this in. Alright, let's go with our Worcestershire, our garlic, our herbs. Alright, now our beef stock. Now, I have a video on homemade beef stock. I'm going to leave that in the iCard above. Take a look at that if you want to make it from scratch, but this just happens to be that better than bouillon beef base that you can buy. I really like that a lot. Got that, and now it's time for our Burgundy wine and our bay leaf. Just give it a quick little stir. I'm going to let this cook for about 5-6 hours. So our French onion soup is done. Here's what it's looking like right here. Have to say that looks delicious. Still got that bay leaf floating around in there, but I'll keep my eye on that. It's time to go ahead and start getting this plated up. So I have a piece of this bread at the bottom of each one of our little serving dishes, and we're just going to go ahead and hit it with some of our soup. And I have my soup in a casserole dish just so I don't have to worry about any bubbling over or spilling or anything like that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and move my crock pot and we'll finish these up. So let's finish them up. So we're just going to go ahead and hit it with another piece of this French baguette that we have here. Going to go over it with some of our freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Don't have to be shy. Some of our Gruyere cheese. Definitely not going to be shy with this. Now this is going to go in the oven under broil for 4 to 5 minutes, or until we start getting some nice bubbly cheese on top of this. And here's what they're looking like coming out of the oven. I'm going to go ahead and let these cool down a little bit, then we'll taste it. So this right here is a wrap. Let's get into it, see what we think about it. Now, if you don't want to go spend all that money on that Gruyere cheese, I don't think it would be a whole lot worse with, some other kind of a cheese substitution. Maybe even just all Parmesan, but maybe it might be a little creamier with this Gruyere. Either way, Gruyere, no Gruyere, whatever kind of cheese you want, this is a winner. Knock it out in your crock pot or on your stove. I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.